The Xbox 360 is a 7th-generation home video game console developed by Microsoft that primarily competed with Sony's PlayStation 3 and Nintendo's Wii. It was in production from November of 2005 to April of 2016. The Xbox 360 became very popular, especially with the more superior version of Xbox Live online services and large support from both first-party and third-party games. It was the first Xbox console to include wireless controllers straight out of the box and incorporate HD gaming, eventually including the HDMI connection. The early versions of the console suffered immensely with the infamous red ring of death, but revisions were made to minimize this fault and new redesigned versions were released, finally eliminating the problem. Additional accessories include the Xbox 360 Kinect, a motion-sensing camera in response to the Nintendo Wii's motion control gaming. For today's video, I will be covering the top 10 best-selling games for the Microsoft Xbox 360. Grand Theft Auto 4 is a 2008 action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It is the 6th main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series, following 2004's San Andreas. Set in the fictional Liberty City, based on New York City, the single-player story follows Eastern European war veteran Niko Bellic and his attempts to escape his past while under pressure from high-profile criminals. The open-world design lets players freely roam Liberty City, consisting of 3 main islands, and the neighbouring state of Alderney, which is based on New Jersey. GTA 4 received critical acclaim, with praise directed at the narrative and open-world design. The game broke industry sales records and became the fastest-selling entertainment product in history at the time, earning $310 million in its first day and $500 million in its first week, and sold 11.1 million copies for the Xbox 360. Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2 is a 2009 first-person shooter game developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision. It is the 6th installment in the Call of Duty series and the direct sequel to Call of Duty 4: Modern Warfare. It was released worldwide in November 2009 for multiple formats. Modern Warfare 2 received universal acclaim with praise for its campaign, multiplayer, and amount of content, although it received some criticism for its short length and a lack of innovation. The game was also subject to a controversy surrounding a playable level that had the player carry out a terrorist attack on an airport. In the first 24 hours of release, the game sold an impressive 4.7 million copies in North America and the United Kingdom. A total of over 22.7 million copies were sold worldwide, with 13.49 million sold for the Xbox console alone. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim is a 2011 action role-playing game developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It is the 5th main installment in the Elder Scrolls series, following the Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. Skyrim was developed using the Creation Engine, which was rebuilt specifically for the game. The team opted for a unique and more diverse open world than Oblivion's Imperial province of Cyrodiil, which game director and executive producer Todd Howard considered less interesting by comparison. Upon release, the game received critical acclaim, with praise for its character advancement, world design, visuals, and the ability to dual-wield in combat. Criticism targeted the melee combat, dragon battles, and numerous technical issues present at launch. The game shipped over 7 million units within the first week of its release and had sold over 20 million units, of which 13.7 million were sold for the Xbox console.
Not enough to bother with.
Take it to a bunker south of the comms building.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is a 2012 first-person shooter game developed by Treyarch and published by Activision. Black Ops 2 is the 9th game in the Call of Duty franchise of video games, a sequel to the 2010 game Call of Duty Black Ops. Black Ops 2 received mostly positive reviews from critics, with praise for its gameplay variety, story, multiplayer, zombies mode, and villain, while its Strike Force missions received criticism. The game was a commercial success. Within 24 hours of going on sale, the game grossed over $500 million. It had remained the largest entertainment launch of all time until September 2013, when Take-Two Interactive announced that Grand Theft Auto V had grossed $800 million in its first day of release. It went on to sell 13.7 million copies for the Xbox console. Halo 3 is a 2007 first-person shooter video game developed by Bungie and published by Microsoft Game Studios, the third installment in the Halo franchise. The game features vehicles, weapons, and gameplay elements familiar and new to the series, as well as the addition of saved gameplay films, file sharing, and the Forge map editor, a utility which allows the player to perform modifications to multiplayer levels. Halo 3 was released in September of 2007 and grossed $170 million on its first day of release, rising to $300 million in its first week. The game sold in excess of 14.5 million copies. Overall, the game was well received by critics, with the Forge and multiplayer offerings singled out as strong features. However, some reviewers criticised single-player aspects, especially the plot and campaign layout.
Let him pass.
Call of Duty Black Ops is a 2010 first-person shooter game developed by Treyarch and published by Activision. It is the 7th title in the Call of Duty series and a sequel to Call of Duty World at War. Set in the 1960s during the Cold War, the game's single-player campaign follows CIA operative Alex Mason as he attempts to recall specific memories to locate a numbers station set to instruct Soviet sleeper agents to deploy chemical weapons across the United States. The game received positive reviews from critics with praise for its story, voice acting, darker tone, and multiplayer modes, although some criticised it for its linear gameplay and technical issues. Among other awards and nominations, Call of Duty Black Ops was nominated Game of the Year by numerous media outlets and award shows, including the Interactive Achievement Awards, British Academy Games Awards, and Spike Video Game Awards. A total of 14.55 million copies were sold for the Xbox console. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is a 2011 first-person shooter game developed by Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer Games and published by Activision. It is the sequel to 2009 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, serving as the third and final installment in the original Modern Warfare trilogy and the 8th Call of Duty installment overall. The game's campaign follows Modern Warfare 2 and begins right after the events of its final mission. Similar to Modern Warfare 2, it is centered on Task Force 141, which contains Captain Price, Soap McTavish, and a newly introduced playable character, Yuri. Modern Warfare 3 received positive reviews from critics, with praise for its gameplay, campaign and multiplayer, although there was some criticism for its story and lack of innovation. It won the award for Best Shooter at the 2011 Spike Video Game Awards, as well as Action Game of the Year at the 15th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards. A total of 14.72 million copies were sold for the Xbox console.
Controls are gonna be in Russian. You're
The console versions of Minecraft debuted with the Xbox 360 edition, developed by 4J Studios and released on 9th May 2012. This version introduced a redesigned crafting system, a new control interface, in-game tutorials, split-screen multiplayer, and online play via Xbox Live. Unlike the PC version, its worlds were finite, bordered by invisible walls. Initially, the Xbox 360 version resembled earlier PC versions, but received updates to bring it closer to Java Edition before its eventual discontinuation in July 2024 as a result of the closure of the Xbox 360 online store. The Xbox 360 version was generally received positively by critics, but did not receive as much praise as the PC version. Although reviewers were disappointed by the lack of features such as mod support and content from the PC version, they acclaimed the port's addition of a tutorial and in-game tips and crafting recipes, saying that they make the game more user-friendly. A total of 22 million copies were sold worldwide for the Xbox 360. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It is the 7th main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series, following 2008's Grand Theft Auto 4 and the 15th installment overall. Set within the fictional state of San Andreas, based on Southern California, the single-player story follows three protagonists: retired bank robber Michael DeSanta, Ned Luke, street gangster Franklin Clinton, Sean Fontano, and drug dealer and gun runner Trevor Phillips, Stephen Ogg, and their attempts to commit heists while under pressure from a corrupt government agency and powerful criminals. Players freely roam San Andreas' open-world countryside and fictional city of Los Santos, based on Los Angeles. Extensively marketed and widely anticipated, the game broke industry sales records and became the fastest-selling entertainment product in history, earning $800 million in its first day and $1 billion in its first 3 days. It received critical acclaim, with praise directed at its multiple protagonist design, open world, presentation and gameplay. However, its depiction of violence and women caused controversies. A total of 22.95 million copies were sold for the Xbox 360 alone. Kinect Adventures is a sports video game released by Microsoft Game Studios for the Xbox 360. Released in 2010, it is a collection of 5 adventure and sports minigames and was developed by Good Science Studio, a subsidiary of Microsoft Game Studios. The game utilizes the Kinect motion camera and was offered as a pack-in game with the accessory. It was unveiled at the 2010 Electronic Entertainment Expo and went on to become the best-selling game on the Xbox 360, as well as earning a place within the top 50 best-selling games of all time, selling 24 million units worldwide. Kinect Adventures received mixed reviews, according to the review aggregation website Metacritic. Video game talk show Good Game's 2 presenters gave the game 6.5 and 6 out of 10, saying that it's a good demonstration of what the Kinect is capable of, but lamented that there weren't more mini-games in the game, also stating that only 2 of the 5 mini-games were worth playing. In Japan, Famitsu gave it a score of 3 7s and 1 9 for a total of 30 out of 40. That is all for this video. I've always enjoyed my Xbox 360 for the online multiplayer games, namely Call of Duty, Gears of War and GTA Online, but after that I moved on to the PlayStation 4 for the next generation lineup. If you have made it this far, then I sincerely thank you and ask that you leave a like. Subscribing to the channel will help out a great deal, and I reiterate that if I meet the end of year target of 100 subscribers, then I will do a special video of the top 50 best-selling games consoles of all time. If there's a game you think I should try out or do a review, whether modern or classic or retro, then leave a comment and I will give it consideration. I will read all comments and try to reply to them. My next top 10 video will be of the best-selling Nintendo Wii games. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Here are some suggestions for some of my previous videos, and I will be releasing some new ones soon.